Hey guys, and welcome to my next Walking Dead chat. This episode is with Hannah. Her YouTube channel name is Hannah Ivy, and I will leave the link to that in the description. As with all of these chats, I'm starting it off with a spoiler warning. Though these chats do focus on particular episodes in the past, we do talk about where things have gone and all sorts of stuff like that. I had a lovely time with this chat. It was so fun to go back this far to the farm and to the iconic moment of Sophia coming out of the barn. We also kind of get into people shipping characters. We get into false theories made by fans, and we just a bunch of other stuff. We really get into a lot of things, and most importantly of all, at least probably to us, is we both kind of bonded over the fact that we love Beth. So there's kind of it's been nice that you find somebody who actually likes a character that you were really drawn to. And so yeah, we definitely bonded over the fact that we both are big fans of Beth. And yeah, we got into this episode. At the end, as with all of these chats, I play a little game and kind of a questionnaire, Walking Dead edition. So make sure you listen to that as well. And yeah, let's get into it.
We're on Easy Street, and it feels so sweet, 'cause the world is but a treat when you're on Easy Street.
Hey guys, so this is my next chat for season 2 of The Walking Dead. I am so excited. We are going to be doing the mid-season finale, and I am joined today by Hannah. Hannah, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you.
What I find interesting, this was like one of the first mid-season finales I feel like I've ever seen. Like, I feel like it wasn't a term before this happened. And
Because season 1 didn't have a mid-season finale, it was just 6 episodes.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like even like out of all shows, like this Walking Dead, like, I feel like they kind of made it a thing.
Mm.
And then, like, everybody started copying them. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think
Yeah,
so.
now I think about it, I don't really... Yeah, now I think about it, because it was a long time ago. It was 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Few
Not a
years
lot of
ago.
other shows did the big mid-season finale thing.
Yeah, because I remember after watching it, because I watched it, like, as it aired. I remember watching it and then seeing, like, that the next episode wasn't going to be for a while. And I was like, what is this? I was so mad. So let's talk about when you started watching The Walking Dead.
Well, it was quite interesting, because I was actually in a lesson at school,
Okay.
and one of the teachers really enjoyed the show, and it was yeah, it was the day before the summer holidays in England, and we just decided to ditch the lesson and watch an episode of The Walking Dead.
Oh,
Yeah,
what class was this? Oh, so it wasn't a part of the lesson.
absolutely not. It was like
Okay.
a
I was
geography
like,
class, sort of world geography class, which was totally different to The Walking Dead.
oh my God, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I was like, what are they teaching you?
How to survive in the apocalypse.
Yes. I would take that class.
Yeah, me
Literally
too.
during this hurricane that I just went through, I literally just
Yeah.
pretended I was like Michonne, like eating my canned beans. Like, I was ready.
I think this show has prepared all of us for the end of the world in some way.
For the most part, I mean, I'm not like a ninja like Jesus. I should probably work on that.
Yeah, work on your karate skills.
Yeah. That's the advice we can give you guys today. So when did you start reacting? And was there a reason that you were like, I really want to do this?
I used to watch. I don't even know how I got into reactions really. I just watched a reaction to the end of season 6 because I loved Jeffrey Dean Morgan before he was in The Walking Dead. I finished university early and wasn't in a great place, and I'd been watching Grey's Anatomy and Denny
Mm-hmm.
Duquette. If
Yep.
nobody knows,
I
yeah,
I
Jeffrey
know.
Dean Morgan played Denny. Yeah, and that sparked my love for Jeffrey. And then I found out he was going to be in The Walking Dead and watched reactions to the end of season 6 and decided I'm gonna react to season 7. And it sort of went from there, really.
That's amazing. I love that it's like it was your love for like a particular actor that
Yeah.
spurred it. I mean, it was probably you probably liked the show as well, but
Oh, of course, yeah. But I wasn't
y-
like proper into it then. It wasn't my life like it is now.
yeah, I
It was a
love
slow
that.
burn.
Yeah. So today we're going to be going into pretty much Dead Already, which
Mhm.
I find to be. There were good episodes before this, don't get me wrong. I have favorites before this, but I felt like this was really an episode that kind of solidified that the show was like gonna be pretty good.
Oh yeah. That it was brave to kill a child like that on screen as well.
Yeah, yeah, especially then, back in the day. I'm acting
Yeah,
like it came out in the
back
70s.
in the day. Vintage.
um, So where this is the farm season, which I don't dislike as much as everybody else does, but I'm a big fan of the green, so maybe that's why. I don't know. But
Yeah.
how did you feel about the greens during season 2? What did you think like, no, I don't like these people, or did you kind of actually grow to like them early on?
See, early on, I didn't read any of the comics or anything, so I went in blind in season 2.
Okay.
I didn't know who they were, so I think going in blind really like gives you a different perspective if you read the comics. There's no
Hmm.
expectations on characters or anything, and I liked them,
I
especially
mean,
Maggie. She is one of my favorites right now.
yeah, oh, for sure. I have a deep-seated love for the Greens. I don't know. I feel like they're very emotionally strong. They may not be the most physically, though she can do
Mm,
some damage if she needs to. But
100%. Especially nowadays.
I feel like what they go through, um, just in general, and the fact that they're always kind of a crutch for other people to lean on,
Yeah.
is they're amazing. So, and I think that they were always kind of like that, and it's not just uh, like a development. Like a lot of other characters found their strength. I feel like Herschel, though. I mean, like, yeah, he was misguided in the barn situation.
Oh yeah, that was a little bit awkward.
Listen, we all have flaws. We all.
Listen, they're dead. Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you feel? What would you have done if you were in Glenn's position for that?
Exactly the same. I would have told everyone this is for my safety. I don't want to die and be I don't want to be responsible if they come out and I didn't tell anyone
Yeah,
because someone could have easily died if they got out on their own and he could have potentially saved them
yeah,
if it went wrong. It went wrong anyway, but
right, right. It could have
but yeah, I
been
would have done
more
exactly the same.
wrong, wronger. What's the
Wrong,
word? More wrong. I
wrong.
don't know.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, and it is Glenn. He's not gonna. But I gotta say
Oh,
that that scene is one of my favorites of his.
just casually over breakfast. Well, there's actually loads of people dead in the barn, so I hope you enjoy
Just so
your
you know.
eggs.
Yeah,
But
like, just so you know. Listen.
hmm,
Um, so after all this time, or everything that you've scene of the show, do you think that there could have been any way that they made the farm like an actual place that they could have stayed? Because they really
Mm,
clung on to the farm, you know, being
it's a long season at the farm.
yeah.
Maybe, potentially, but it's such an open place. If you Google, you can see the aerial view of the farm in
Yeah.
Georgia, and it's such a huge place. There's no security. It's a big house, and
Hmm.
the walkers would have to wander in from afar, and like they did to make do a lot of damage. But I don't think it would have been a fortress of any kind at all. It was just a pit stop, really. I don't think you could make a farm very fortress like, like the
Yeah.
prison.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's probably like I feel like not even just walkers. I mean, they had to deal with walkers, which, got
Was the main cause
them
of the
out of
trouble.
right. But like, could you imagine if somebody like the
People.
claimed people or like whatever just came across them?
Yeah,
That
I know it's far out, but it's desperate times. So if you see a
and
farm like that, that'd be the first place to go. And there you go.
to go into the episode like after this, Nebraska, I believe, where they meet the guys in the bar, and one of the
Yeah,
first things one of the guys said is like, "Oh, do you have women?"
yeah,
Like,
because that's the
no.
first thing.
Like,
Let's just skip food and water and go straight to girls.
and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm so glad Rick shot you. Like,
Yeah.
because, like, if somebody like that came across the farm, and I love that that was like the teeniest glimpse that we got back then of how people can go bad.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
no rules in this lot in that life, so you can do what you want.
I think the show did a very good slow burn of that. Like, it wasn't like the first season, there's a bunch of like awful people, like, or anything like that. But we start to realize over time, like, there's more than just the undead being a threat.
Yeah, and that's good. I like that about The Walking Dead. It's not just the walkers and it's not just the people. It's a healthy mix of both. Well, in earlier seasons, it's got a bit people orientated now, but
Right. Yeah,
mm,
it is interesting when you go back to like season 1 or season 2 and you kind of see like how afraid they were of walkers. Now people still die of walker bites.
yeah, recently, poor Carl.
Yeah.
I think that made me look at The Walking Dead in a different way because walkers weren't such a threat in the later seasons, and
Yeah.
Carl's death by a walker bite just reiterates the fact that they are actually still a threat. People can still die.
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of times, especially in recent seasons, we just sort of like, if there's walkers, I'm like, just in the latest, well, I won't, well, I'll put a spoiler warning
Yeah.
before this, but just in the latest like Fear episode,
Yeah.
like when there were a bunch of walkers, I literally said in my reaction, I'm like, Morgan, just kill them all. What are you doing? Like, I
Like it's
just,
that easy, huh?
yeah. I'm like, oh God, like there's only like 15 of them. Jeez.
15 of them, one of you.
And it's like we get sort of that gut reaction sometimes that we're like, oh, well, they are lethal. And if one of them
Yeah.
gets a lucky bite, then Morgan's gone. Okay, I get it. But you kind of have that mindset sometimes after you've watched this show for so long.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. Um, so interesting. The first chat that I've done was TS19. Um,
Right.
and basically it's the episode where they kind of confirm for a fact at the CDC that they're in fact dead. I don't know why you would think they weren't, but
Yeah, they're just a bit sick. They're alive. Their heart's beating.
but do you think if they didn't confirm that or didn't show that, the audience would have a different perspective on Herschel's way of thinking?
It depends on who you are.
Yeah.
definitely, because Herschel is the typical religious, I'm going to say stereotypical Southern religious old man.
Yeah.
And I think that mentality is common with his age group.
Hmm.
If I can say that, can I say that?
You can say that. It's fine. Everything's
Uh,
okay.
so I think his way of viewing the Walkers is quite, I want to say, common or not too surprising. But
Yeah.
the audience, I think it's a given that
Hmm.
they're dead. Because I don't know whether everybody knows this, but Robert Kirkman said in the Walking Dead universe, the word zombies isn't a thing. Like, they
Yeah.
don't know what zombies are. There's no zombie movies or anything. So, from a viewer's perspective, I I think it'd be okay. But if you're in the show, if it was in real life in that universe, I think they'd have more of a difficult time accepting that they're actually dead, not just sick.
Right. And I think you can only pull off this storyline that early on in the apocalypse because of the fact that these walkers are like, as seasons go on, they get super decayed, they're like torn apart from the rest of their body. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's obvious that they're not, but at
they're
this
not sick
point,
anymore.
for the most part, they kind of still looked, they kind of just looked sick, so to
Yeah,
speak.
yeah, I agree with that.
So I think that maybe, obviously there's the like iconic, which we'll get to, the shot of like Shane actually shooting the walker, and he's like, "Why is it still coming?" I mean,
Mm.
fair point, Shane. Fair point. But um, so going into kind of one of the bigger stories where it just made everybody fall in love with Daryl.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
why do you think Daryl was so uh, focused and like really wanted to find Sophia when it seemed like, I don't think everybody else gave up on her, but it seemed like everybody else was kind of more accepting her fate a little
Yeah,
bit
I mean,
more than him?
I think it's because of his background, the fact that he grew up without anybody that really cared if he went missing at all.
Hmm.
Because he did say to Andrea that he went missing, or it's been a long time since I've seen that series, but he did go away from home
Yeah.
and just nobody bothered to look for him, and he come back, made a sandwich, and that's it. Like
Yeah.
nobody extended that effort to Daryl in his life at all, not even Merle.
Yeah.
So given that effort that he never got over to Sophia, especially because Carol's a single mum and she got abused by Ed, and by extension, I guess Sophia had to witness that, and so did Daryl in his sort of background. I think maybe he extended his compassion that nobody gave to him to Sophia.
Yeah. I think that that's true. It's weird if you think about it in like some, I guess, morbid way. Like the fact that Sophia went missing really did bond Daryl and Carol.
Yeah, definitely. That was the start of their friendship.
And so the relationship born out of such a tragic thing was actually very beautiful, I would say.
Yeah, I love their relationship. I mean, I am a hard not Carol shipper. I'm really sorry if anyone. I apologise now.
Me too,
But I
it's okay.
think if a relationship is born of that, and it's so much more familial, I think it'd get ruined if there was any ever romantic relationship. I mean, I don't. I think it's the wrong type of show to have that happen.
I think I think I love that The Walking Dead does not like make the show like who's hooking up with who,
Oh
because
yeah,
it's
it's not The
so
Bachelor.
unrealistic. Yeah, like it's so unrealistic in this world. Like I was feeling sexual tension between Rick and Michonne for a long time, and I'm just like, I remember when it finally happened, I was so happy, but it was one of those things like, yeah, it makes sense that it didn't happen before now because they have other shit to do. Like,
Oh,
they're not
definitely.
like,
So much like living.
yeah, like, so, but I mean, I was never, I think Daryl and Carol have one of the strongest relationships in the show, but I don't
Yeah.
find it to be romantic as well.
No, I
So,
think there's something beautiful about a platonic man-woman relationship that you don't see much in TV
yeah.
ever.
Yeah, I think, and it is interesting when I don't, I'm not somebody who, there are people that I see get together in shows or that have great chemistry that I'm like, oh, I really want them to get together and stuff. But
Mm.
I don't feel like I'm a typical person who really likes to ship. I don't even know if I like that term, like people. Um, and I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times if like one person looks at one person, people go
Married and
nuts.
children instantly on Twitter.
I remember, and this is way back when, season 3 aired. There was
Mm.
a moment, I am not kidding you, and I wish I took screenshots and had proof of this, but when, after Rick saves Glenn and Maggie from the governor and they come
Oh,
back
yeah.
and Beth kisses Rick on the cheek, do
Yeah.
you remember? Everybody was like, oh my God, they're going to get together. I'm like, what is wrong with people?
I knew the exact moment you were talking about. Yeah. Um, Somebody did say, I think Andrew Lincoln was the one that said he tried to plug Beth having a crush on Rick. I think that's where they did that.
Maybe, but it's just so funny to me. And the internet was like, oh my God, aren't they perfect together? I'm like, they've literally, I mean, they had one scene and that was it.
Oh, shipping is a cause of so many arguments over social media, especially Tumblr. Just no.
I've never been on Tumblr and I'm thankful.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's so, yeah, and just people who want certain people. And even this last season, guys, I'm going to try to remember to put this at the beginning of the video, but spoiler warning, we're going to talk about the whole show, so like chill. Um,
Yeah.
but this, as soon as, I thought it was crazy, as soon as Eric died,
Oh, to Aaron and Jesus.
I'm just like, just because they're
Yeah.
two gay people? Like, what is happening?
They must get together. They're both gay.
Great logic that these people have. It's insane to me. Oh my God. All right. um so going into Andrea is
Oh,
kind of
right.
interesting throughout this season, and I find her arc interesting uh throughout the show and very different from the comics. Um why do you think she clung to Shane so much in season 2?
They're- I think they're both quite similar. They're quite strong as people,
Mm-hmm.
very headstrong as characters, and they're both alone.
Yeah.
Amy is dead. Rick's come back to poo over Shane's party.
Yeah.
So I think they both need somebody strong. And it's the end of the world. I mean, you can't be picky.
Yeah, I think she saw something that she really wanted to be.
Yeah, to
I don't
emulate.
know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure how much she wanted to be with him or she wanted to be
Not.
him.
I think she wanted to be him more than anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, how did you feel about her attitude towards Dale in season 2? Do you think she held the grudge too long, or do you think it was
Yeah. So, I mean, in the comics, their relationship is very different.
obviously? Yes.
Very, very different. And I
If you
can't
guys don't
imagine.
know, it's some shit. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Some, I don't even know how to explain or describe that relationship.
Yeah, yeah, it's something else.
Mm. But she definitely held a grudge for too long, and I think she regretted that when he died.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, I think I understand why she would be mad in the first place. As much
Mm.
as, like, I don't think I would have made the same decision that she made at the CDC. If I were to make that decision and to have somebody that I deeply cared for be like, okay, well, I'm going to kill myself too unless you leave, I can see why she'd be kind of upset about
Oh,
that.
100%.
But I do think that focusing on the fact that Dale just cared, he just loved
Oh,
you.
I do see where both of them coming from.
Yeah, for sure.
So I do think she held a grudge too long. Definitely regretted it when he did die. But I don't know. Andrea's character is a tricky one. I did personally. I don't know how anyone else feels, but I didn't really enjoy her character, especially the moves she made in the later seasons.
Yeah.
So I don't know
Alex,
whether my opinion on her
Alex
character's
is gonna
been.
come for you. I hope you know.
Oh, oh, oh no,
I'm just
oh
kidding.
God.
I mean, he will, but it's okay. He's the only he loves Andrea. Andrea's like his favorite character. Just so.
Sorry, Alex.
It's okay. He's very aware of the fact that he he's the only one.
Oh, I feel bad for him now because she got killed off so early.
Oh, yeah. He really loved her. Like to this day he still talks about her to me.
It's like me and Beth. Like,
Yeah.
unpopular opinion character, but I love her to death.
Don't worry, I do too. She's in my I call them like my trifecta of favorites, and it's Beth, Glenn, and Rick. So,
Oh,
yeah.
can I ask your opinion on Beth and Daryl?
I loved them. I was not again like I wasn't shipping them, so to
Hmm.
speak. I don't I I didn't have an opinion on that one way or another. I thought Beth was literally the most beautiful and wonderful thing to happen to Daryl. When I said before that Greens are emotionally strong, I'm specifically talking about Still,
Oh yeah, I mean
where
that's such an unpopular episode. So many people really dislike it. I know we're not talking about that season. I think we've
no,
gone
it's
off on a
okay.
tangent, but still, um,
It's one of my favorites of the show. I could care less what anybody else says. I think it's a story of like a guy that was physically strong and a girl that was emotionally strong, and they kind of taught each other how to.
oh, that's so lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I mean her death. I think that changed Daryl. From then on,
Hmm.
he's not the same.
I agree with that. I think she really did, and it's nothing against guys. You can like Daryl and Beth's relationship and Daryl and Carol's relationship. Just I'm letting. It's not as heated now as it was back then, but my
Oh, that's so
God,
heated.
everybody was crazy about it. I love them both. All right. But I think there is something to be said about, I think Beth did have an effect on Daryl.
100%.
And
If you say that she didn't, then you're wrong. It's evident.
I just found out, by the way, like I'm dying because Emily Kinney's going to play like an hour and 20 minutes away from me in
Oh,
October.
yeah.
And I'm going to go. I don't care what day it is. I don't care what I'm doing.
She is lovely. We've met and she's such a lovely person.
I'm going to rename this the Beth podcast. Like,
Oh, God, everyone's probably like, oh no.
honestly, because I just released yesterday it was the top 10 characters that I miss the most.
Oh yeah.
Um, and her and Glenn were at the top, and I got a lot of love for Beth. I think the
Okay.
hate has fizzled a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a long time now. I think hopefully people have gotten over it by now.
I think a lot of people's disdain with it was the fact that they just didn't want her and Daryl to get together.
think-
And
And now it
so,
was a big threat. Now Carol and Ezekiel, I assume.
what? Listen, I'm about Carol and Ezekiel. I may be the only one, but
No, I think they're great.
it's just as soon as like they started having scenes together, I was like, "Ooh, what is this?" Like, but again, they're not gonna like do this whole. They waited a few seasons to maybe do something if we're doing something. I don't know. I mean,
It's building the bond and then getting that. I mean, some shows just right off the bat stare at each other and fall in love. It's not about that, especially not the end of the world.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, okay. That's our tangent
Tangent.
about couples and Beth and how amazing she was, and she's the best. You guys should realize that by now.
Hmm.
um, going into whose side were you on? Rick or Shane's when you watched?
Oh, it's got to be Rick, hasn't it? Because he's the main character, and I think he was trying his best for everyone. He was in a difficult situation, especially with Laurie getting pregnant with,
Yeah.
obviously, evidently Shane's baby.
And he does seem, just in general, slightly more reasonable than Shane. I
He
feel.
was so unhinged. He went off the
Yeah.
deep end, and I don't even understand why he was trying to kill his best friend, really. Jealousy.
Yeah. Well, but it's so funny though how when you look back now, there is no way on planet Earth or any other planet that they would agree to be out camping outside with no guns.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So, how do you feel like if you think back at it now? Do you think Shane was right about the guns?
Yes, because they've got to protect themselves, and
Yeah.
it's not like the Greens really know how to deal with them.
Yeah, I don't really blame the Greens for not wanting all of these strangers to be chilling in their house and stuff.
Oh,
Like, I get it.
Hmm.
But yeah, like it's just so crazy when you think about it. And Shane's just like, yeah, we need guns. There's walkers all over the place. And I'm like, yeah, actually, no, yeah, you do. I don't know. Like if anybody today went to Rick and was like, Rick, you and your people need to give up all your guns and you're gonna sit outside. He'd be
That'd be
like,
an absolutely hard no. Kidding? Yeah. Oh, I don't
and there's
know.
a
It's difficult.
yeah, there's a
Shane and Rick.
Shane, though crazy at
Mm,
times,
yeah.
slightly not the sanest.
Not the most stable of characters.
um, he did have some good points with
Mm.
everything. So a lot of people have like those T-shirts that say like Shane was right and you know all that stuff. Uh, do you think so? Obviously, it seems like Shane adapted to this world and the horrors of this world pretty well early on. I think that that's fair to say. Do
Yeah,
you think?
I mean, hmm,
Go ahead.
I don't know. I mean, because there's no rules, and I think Shane is volatile from the beginning.
Yeah.
There's so much potential for him to become a savior. Really, if he lived that long, he would have been
Hmm.
on Negan's side. I think
Yeah.
it's
I.
just his personality to me, anyway. But maybe he did embrace it. But I think that world embraced him. Like he got a bit of the darkness of that new world in him too early on.
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed it too much.
Hmm. I think it's interesting because I think Shane probably would have been pretty useful in a lot of situations, maybe like
Oh,
Terminus.
definitely.
But how do you think he would have like adapted at this stage where we're like starting with season 9, where now they're trying to rebuild civilization? I feel like if he lived that long, that would have been completely lost on him, maybe.
Maybe, I mean, none of us really know because
Right.
all of the characters that we've kept alive that haven't died have gone on such a journey, and you never
Yeah.
know how Shane would have turned out, whether he would have gone dark side and then back to normal. I don't really know. We're never going to know, and I think that's quite sad.
Oh, he was definitely like a great character to explore, I found.
I feel like he did need to die. So,
Um, so there was a moment between Glenn and Maggie that I love where he kind
mm,
of gives her what for and is like when she's mad at him for telling them about the walkers in the barn and he's like, I don't want you in danger, so I don't really care what your opinion is. Do you think this was a big moment for them, or do you think they still kind of had a long way to go as a couple at this point?
I think that might have been the turning point for them, really, because it did all happen quite quickly.
Yeah.
It was a
And
bit of
he,
fun at the beginning, dangerous fun in the pharmacy.
yeah, that's what I was just about to say. Like he did save her, and I think once she like kind of understood that, but I guess she still needed to make a point that he went against her
Well,
wishes.
she's a woman; they need to do things like that. It might be the apocalypse, but women are still women.
So when looking back at Shane and Dale specifically, they were kind of a pretty big part of this episode and the complete opposite attitudes,
Oh yeah.
where Dale refused to let this world kind of corrupt him, so to speak, and Shane, you could argue, was already corrupted.
Mm.
I would, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
At that
ha-
point, I think he's gone a little bit off the rails.
do you think Shane was right when he said that Dale was pretty much dead already?
I don't know. Yes, I think so because there's been a running theme in The Walking Dead: the good people always die first,
Hmm.
and the moral compasses always die first. I don't know whether that's like a running joke with the writers or anything, but I think Shane might have been right.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to make hard decisions and decisions you don't want to make and sacrifices, and don't think Dale was even willing to listen to anyone else's side.
Yeah. I mean, I think they were both stubborn on their ends of the spectrum. And, obviously you want to be more on Dale's side. But the one thing I will say for Dale is he said, when I go out in this world, I don't have the exact right words, but at least like this world won't take me down before I go. Like I'm going to be happy with who I am when I go. And I think that that
Yeah.
is such a nice attitude that we really don't get a lot of on this show.
No, I think we've lost that actually. I mean, a lot of change is a part of life, and especially in that situation, everyone changes, and but you still want to be yourself
Yeah.
when you die, or a better version of yourself. And I think Shane was becoming the worst version of himself, and Dale was trying not to let the world corrupt him. Like Laurie said to Carl, "Don't let the world spoil you." And I think Dale was thinking on the same lines.
Yeah. I think so too. Um, so getting to the big scene, the ending scene of this episode with the barn and everything, before we get to the kind of final bit that
Mhm.
shocked everybody, um, what do you think was going through Herschel's head when Shane kind of basically proved to him that these people were dead?
I think the illusion of safety and the illusion that his family weren't actually sick, it's like
Hmm.
the reality that he'd made for himself has been crushed down by the people that he didn't even want in his on his farm in the first place.
Yeah.
and it's crushing to think, to see right in front of your eyes what you believed not to be true. It's heartbreaking for him, bless him, but
Yeah.
he was become stronger from that, really.
Yeah, I think that that's definitely true. I mean, you can tell that he's not just coming to the terms with the fact that he's wrong. He's coming to terms with the fact that his whole family is now dead, if you
Yeah,
think
and
about
they've
it.
been dead this time.
Um, so Shane gives this huge speech about, that if you want to live, you have to fight. And how did you feel about that? Was that something that the group needed to hear? Because at that point, there was quite a few people in that group that were not fighters.
Personally, I think they all needed it. Sometimes people need tough love, and I think they did, especially in that environment. You're not safe. You're never safe, and the reality is that people are dying, come back to life, and want to kill you. So I think it was a turning point for the group and for the whole story. Then
Yeah, for sure.
they definitely needed to hear it.
I think,
He said it in a better way, but still.
yeah, well, I think because of the way he delivered it, the audience still was like, no, you're kind of the villain. Still sort of branded him as maybe not. But if you really do think about if he didn't say that, or if he didn't kind of give this weird reality check, it may have gone worse later on.
Yeah, definitely.
Were you surprised when the beautiful Walker, Sophia, came out of the barn?
100%. I mean, I thought maybe we're never ever going to find her and it'll just be, let's get everybody resigned to the fact that she's dead. But having her in that barn, especially after Shane killed the only person that knew they were in there, knew she was in there.
Yeah,
Like, if he didn't kill Miss and they'd said about Sophia, he might have thought, oh, and it wouldn't have been such a surprise.
yeah.
But that
I
didn't happen like that.
I think it was one of the first, and I don't want to say definitely, but one of the first big detours that they took from the comics.
Oh, yeah, that
Um,
was huge.
and I think that was like the extra shock value for people who read the comics, and Sophia was still around at when the comics were coming out then and everything, and everybody was just like, "What? What do you mean?" And
Especially Carl's stories took a detour then as well.
yeah, oh for sure,
And even Maggie.
yeah, I agree. How did you feel about Rick being the one that put her down?
See, he's a natural leader, and I think that was the only option. Shane had already caused loads of chaos, and he wouldn't expect anyone else to do it, especially Daryl and Carol, because Daryl tried to find her. Carol's her mother, and they, like you said earlier, they weren't fighters, none of them except Rick and
Yeah,
Shane. But I think it's just a natural person to do it, and I think Rick's guilt played another part in that because he left her there. She
hmm
did run away and didn't listen to him, but I think maybe it made him feel this is he deserves to be the one to put her down because he left her.
yeah. I think also. I mean, obviously, Carol was a mess at that time,
Yeah.
and Daryl was kind of comforting her, so it's not like not really. And all the Greens, their whole family just got massacred in front of their eyes. Probably not. Don't
Yeah.
ask them. But I think it's interesting that Shane didn't. I think at that point, well, I think even when he died, Shane still had a heart for people in this group. I think he put Lori and Carl above everybody else. But,
Yeah, cool.
and I think that he just, like at that point, he was like, okay, maybe let me not shoot the missing girl in the head.
Yeah,
Like that
he'd
would
done
be a little
enough.
too much, yeah, at that point.
So so he does all that to the Green family and crushes their dreams, but
Yeah, he doesn't care
he
about them
doesn't
too
kill
much.
a war, you know. So he draws the line there. That's
That's,
where you draw the line.
you know what? But it's nice to know that Shane has a line. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's sweet. And I mean, that shot of like Rick with the barrel of the gun is so just one of those shots that I feel like it sticks with you.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's forgotten that scene.
It just amazing. I absolutely love the fact that they were able to pull a pretty good twist with that. And then after it happens, you go, why didn't I think she was in the barn? You know? Like you have that moment of like, why didn't that come to my mind?
Yeah.
I feel like if there was more internet speculation back then, people would have figured it out and the theories would have.
Oh, definitely. Now nothing stays a secret.
Well, not everybody thinks everything is connected. I
No.
mean, I was thinking about trying to do a video where I talked about all of the fan theories that never came true, that everybody was
Good idea.
convinced. Yeah, like,
That's great. I think you should do that.
yeah, it takes a lot of work to go back and look at. I would have to go into like deep corners of the internet to find those theories. But like something like when everybody was convinced that Enid was a savior.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Yeah, it's like stuff like that. Like there are so many theories that people are like, this is it. This is what it is. And
Oh,
half
no,
the
didn't they
time,
think Enid was a wolf?
that too. She was everything at some point.
It's because she's new and she's a character that wasn't in the comics. It's like automatically suspicious of anybody that's not been in the comics or just pops up out of nowhere.
I know the savior thing came out of the scene where Maggie started like having problems with her pregnancy in the
Yeah.
like penultimate episode of season 6, and like it was after Enid like got her a glass of water or something, and everybody's like, she poisoned her. Like
Oh, I never had the pleasure of reading that theory.
and stuff like, I mean, there's always so many theories of like this person's gonna be, I don't even know. But yeah, I should probably do a video. I think it would be interesting, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how well a video would go over of me being like, you were all wrong. Like,
The show did that for you.
yeah,
You were wrong. There's proof right there.
yeah. Oh my God. Well, this has been lovely.
Yeah.
We're going to get into just a quick little game. That it's going to be 15 questions, and it is a kind of what would you rather Walking Dead edition.
Oh, nice.
So just say the first thing that comes to your mind.
Oh,
Are you ready?
yes, ready.
Okay. Would you rather have an endless supply of food or an endless supply of weapons?
Food.
Who would you rather babysit your kids, Negan or the governor?
Oh, definitely Negan. Look at what happened to the thing, governor's kids.
That's true. Well, I figured you would say Negan anyway. You seem.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather spend a summer road tripping in the RV with Dale or spend a summer farming with Herschel?
Oh, farming, 100%.
Who would you rather be by your side and loyal to you throughout the entire apocalypse, Aaron or Jesus?
Jesus.
Who would you rather be stuck in a prison cell with, Merle or Simon?
Probably Simon.
Would you rather be alive and a cannibal or a walker chained to Negan's fence?
Oh, no. Oh. Oh, no. Uh, oh, God. No, I'd have to. I can't eat people. I'd have to die. I'd have to be on the fence.
You'd still be close to Negan.
That thought did run through my mind.
Would you rather live in a community with Gregory as the leader or with Spencer as the leader?
Spencer is easier on the eye, and he's better. Definitely, but definitely Spencer.
Okay, okay. Would you rather eat a tub of chocolate pudding with Carl on a rooftop or get
Mhm.
drunk on moonshine with Daryl and Beth?
Oh, definitely drunk on moonshine with Darren and Beth.
Sorry, Carl. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Carl.
Would you rather the show give a flashback to Glenn and Maggie's wedding or finally show what in the hell happened to Heath?
Hmm. Heath, because there's so much more mystery surrounding him, so definitely Heath.
Okay. This is your people have not liked me for this question. Um,
Oh,
if you had to choose, who would you rather beat to death with Lucille?
okay.
Ezekiel
Oh
or Jerry?
no! Mm. Now, is this if I was me or if I was Negan?
If you were you.
Oh, pants. I don't. Oh, oh dear. This is horrible. Why are you doing this to me?
Well, I've done it to everyone, if that makes you feel any better.
I'd say Jerry because less hair in the wire. Um, and Ezekiel's the leader. You need him.
Yeah, she's practical, guys. She's practical. She doesn't want to clean her bat. Good idea. Would you rather bring Shiva back to life or ensure that Judith survives until the end of the show?
Oh, Judith, 100%.
Okay, okay. Would you rather be as smart as Eugene or as good of a shot as Sasha?
Oh no, this is another practically awkward question because they're both important in life. I'd say Eugene because you could find make a gun or fix a gun if you're smart
Right.
and teach yourself how to be a better shot. So Eugene.
Okay. Again, you're thinking logically through these.
Hmm.
I like that. All right. Would you rather make Carol look at the flowers or kill Michonne with her own sword?
Oh God. Oh no. Um. Hmm. I'm gonna. Oh, I'm gonna have to kill Michonne.
Oh no.
I like Carol better. I'm sorry.
Dad, listen, I understand. I understand. It's okay. Um, two more questions. Who would you rather be on your side in a fight to the death, Rick or Daryl?
Uh, fight to the death on my side. Rick,
Okay. All
because
right.
Daryl has got himself into trouble doing that.
True. True.
So definitely Rick.
And finally, who would you bring back to life if you could, Glenn or Carl?
Carl, because he shouldn't have died in the first place. Glenn definitely died in the comics. I know so many people are really up in arms about Glenn dying, but he needed to for Maggie's story, and Carl didn't need to die at all, so definitely Carl.
Okay. All right. Again, you had very well thought out logical answers, I feel like.
How come I don't think like this in my real life? No logical decisions there.
She's not very practical in real life, guys, but when it comes to The Walking Dead, She would
Yeah.
make great decisions.
I need to start playing the Walking Dead games because they're based on decisions.
Yeah, yeah, that would be great for you. And then you could see, like, when you're under pressure, like, do you may still make
New
the.
series coming soon to my channel.
All right. So thank you for doing this.
Oh,
I'm
this has been nice.
I'm just so happy, and I had such a great time talking with you.
Me too.
And yeah, guys, make sure you check out her channel. If you don't know who she is, you probably do. But make sure you check out her channel down below in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for another Walking Dead video. Bye.